Hey folks, KT here, and welcome to Everyday KT. We are on number 89, 11 more to 100, which is kind of amazing. Sorry I'm a little bit late. Had an Eagle Scout Court of Honor tonight. One of the boys in the troop here made Eagle, and we had a big celebration for him, which is awesome. Which is the first part of tonight. We're talking about service. So part of, when you wear out there wearing your kilt, you're doing your thing. The service comes in when you're helping others who wear their kilt. If it's letting them know that their pleats are all jacked up, helping them figure out whatever it is they're doing it. Their sporran's upside down or something. Whatever. They still have a base thing to stitch in, which God forbid that would ever happen, but it does. So, no idea what you're talking about there, Dave. I think you typoed a lot. So, service, helping other people. That's my whole thing. I love helping other people figure themselves out, become better people, make their lives better. So, if you do something, let me know what it is you do, what cool stuff you do. I'm working with the scouts, I work with the schools, I work with pretty much kids doing whatever, helping them get better as people. Evening, good. Oh yeah, there we go. So then we've got the second part of tonight. Service. I could talk about that for a bazillion years, but the other half of what I want to talk about tonight was pleat management. Now, pleats in your kilt are a humongous pain in the ass, literally and figuratively, because if you don't have them collected when you're sitting, they bunch up and you're uncomfortable. The other half of that part is keeping them pressed. Now, your pleats and how well they stay depend entirely on the material your kilt is made of. The one I have here, it's a custom spun McTavish 1850 variant from House of Edgar. I believe someone else got the same kilt. The pleats on here are damn near perfect. I've never pressed them. I've never steamed this kilt. I think I've washed it 5 or 6 times since I've had it and just hung it to dry. Pleats on a real wool kilt will stay quite well. I have several other kilts I'm going to show you. This one is my wool blend from Stillwater. I have steamed these pleats. As you can see, it's well loved. Some of them are good. Some of them not so much. But that's because it's, this one gets worn a lot more than the one I'm wearing now. I hang them. I take care of them pretty well, but I wear them all the time. Ryan, to your point, dry cleaners are a hit or miss. I've sent one kilt to the dry cleaners and it came back destroyed, so I never did it again. So I do my own. So I've got another kilt here. This one, I do not know who the maker is. It is it's a thin, lightweight material. It says it's wool, but it's very thin. It's like a 13 ounce or less. No, it's probably a 13 ounce. As you can see, the pleats on this one, also not perfect, but not bad. So the lighter weight wool, the pleats stay quite well. I've had this kilt for probably, 6-7 years. The pleats aren't too shabby. Again, the wool kilts will hold a pleat. Now, we get into some of the horror stories. So this is my McTavish, also a Stillwater, but this is one of their middle of the road kilts. And as you can see, the pleats need love. I have to take this. I haven't worn this one in a while, so I have to actually reset the pleats, press them, and get them squared away straight again. And then I have another, the last one I want to show you. This one is, this one is not my Got Kilt, Brotherhood of the Kilt. This is an older one. It is a, it's either an acrylic or a polyviscose blend. And as you can see, the pleats on this one are not great either. So if you have some of the non-wool kilts, those pleats are going to get out of control. And you got to maintain those things. You got to press them regularly. Store them. Store your kilts hanging up. And make sure that when you are storing them that your pleats are halfway squared away. Otherwise, they will look like the last two kilts I showed you, which I am either going to wear outside when I'm working, doing something in the garage, or I'm going to re-steam them, press them, and get those things squared away. Hey, Mike, good to see you. And again, with the wool kilts, as long as you don't just crumple it up and chuck it in a drawer somewhere, the pleats are pretty much going to take care of themselves. Now, with the modern style kilts, which have the Kingese pleats, where they kind of face each other in the back, cotton and other like materials are horrible for pleats. The Utility-Kilts and other utility style kilts, I wear those a lot when I go on long trips. And that point between brand new and worn in, the pleats are going to be a wreck. So if you want your pleats to be nice and crisp, you've got to press those, iron them, whatever you're going to do to those regularly. Or chuck it in the washing machine and the dryer multiple times to get that broken in. That way they look a lot more worn, but well worn. Yeah, Josh, I do the same thing. I hang mine. I actually hang them in the basements. In my basement, from the floor joists. There's some old nails down there, so I just hang them all up. So that's what the pleats are. Try to make sure that they're nice and tidy if you can. Especially if you're storing your kilts, try to make sure that they're halfway squared away. That way, when you go to grab the kilt and head out for on the night in the town, it doesn't look like you pulled it out of an old shopping bag or something. And that's just, up to you. Personally, I like them where they're fairly squared away and halfway decent. If you don't care, you don't care. Then do what you're going to do. And let me know what any of you guys do anything, ladies, service oriented. Scouting, community, schools, whatever. Throw it in there. Let me know what you guys are doing. And I am actually going to, so I've still got to get my kids put to bed. I'm going to find my Kiltology books. And I'm going to grab the first one I see, which is volume 2. And see what we got. Kiltology number 433, Natural Selection. Contrary to popular belief, Darwin did not devise his theory of natural selection over years of observation, study, and research into the habits of species around the world. He concluded his entire body of work in the span of a single weekend in a small kilted community whilst having a few meals at the local pub. His conclusions were reached as he watched men wearing pants vainly attempt to attract the shapely lasses, and determined that the evolution of the kilted male led to his unwavering victory in his selection of lasses for procreation and continuation of the species. He also determined that the evolution of single malt ran concurrent with the kilt, as the more kilties who arrived, the more wildly varied the selection of single malt had become. Yeah, Dave, I do. I laugh at my own because I wrote this a long time ago, and half of this stuff I am rereading for the first time, so I think it's hilarious. And the fact that this book has my name on it, it still baffles me to this day, even though I've got 2. So, natural selection. Darwin All he did was go to the pub. He didn't have to sit there and study for years and years and years. So, that will do it for Everyday KT tonight. Tomorrow night, it's number 90. So we're going to have live Q&A. Do me a favor and grab some questions. Kevin, I would love to hear from you about Scotland. So when you get there, shoot me some messages, shoot me some text, shoot me whatever. If you're able to head down towards Dumfries, there's a place called the Farintosh Guest House. Go check it out. The selection of single malt they have is epic. I've known the folks who run that for a good 10 years at least. So stop by and if you're down in Dumfries at the Farintosh Guest House, and tell them KT sent you. And until then, I will talk to you all tomorrow. Be strong. Put a kilt on.